Hi, I'm Ken Durand from the Keene YMCA Judo Club in Keene, New Hampshire. And this video is going to be looking at rubber bands for doing Uchi Komi, or called Uchi Komi bands. Now, years ago, 45 years ago, I can remember using makeshift rubber bands or belts to supplement our practice. When we were not at an actual workout with other people, we were alone. We might use perhaps a judo belt that we would put around a post, and we could do fit-ins on that belt. And this can work. Gives us something to grab and pull, but it doesn't have quite the same resistance that we might want to get better training. So then we would take inner tubes, bicycle inner tubes, put it around, and now we had a little bit more give, a little bit more pull and resistance. We might even take two, wrap a second one in around, so that now we have, try that again, two inner tubes, one on another, and we'd have a little bit more ability to pull. We might have one beside another, so we had two inner tubes, just like we're holding on to somebody's uniform. Now, a little talk about securing what we're putting on around the post. First of all, you want to make sure you have a good solid post. Right here, I'm around the post to the treadmill. I wouldn't want to do this all the time. It might pull too much, but for now, this will give us a good solid post. But what you want to be hooked up to is a solid post, a tree maybe outside that's solid, a post in the perhaps at a playground that is cemented into the ground, maybe a bolt into a beam that has a D-ring or something hooked up to it that this can go around it. Another option is you could take a belt. Maybe it's around a tree and it's really kind of wide. So you put the belt around it, tie it, and that gives now something to anchor onto. Then you could take your rubber band, anchor it around that, and it's not going all the way around, so now you have a little bit more away from the tree. So you want something good and solid. Secondly, you want to make sure this isn't going to break. So you want to make sure this is good and solid and it's not frayed. I would suggest you check every time you do your workout that it's not going to break. Now, there are actually some other bands now that are commercially made, and here's one made by Neil Adams Effective Fighting. And if you Google Neil Adams Effective Fighting Uchi Komi bands, you'd come up with this. Okay, it's kind of cool that it has judo gi at the end of it that you could hold on like a sleeve, or an upright piece that you could hold on like a lapel. So if I put this around the back post to give me some space, I can hold on, and I've got the ability to pull, and this is really kind of nice. Very nice, strong pull. I've got some resistance, but I can pull it along forward. There's another one here. This is made through Judo Gear USA. Again, you go to Judo Gear USA, Uchi Komi bands. And it also has, at the end of it, a judo gi, but it's like two sleeves. Now, I'll put this around. You can hold one sleeve from underneath and then the other sleeve just turn it. You still have a sleeve and a lapel pull. So let's look at this a little bit. What might we do? I'll start off with Ippon Seoinage. And in going with that, I'll go over some concepts and then specific skills. So first of all, with Ippon Seoinage, I could turn, get some nice elasticity, get some pull. I might work for form. I want to pull forward, I want to pull down, I want to get into good position. So I'm working right now for form with some resistance. I also might want to work for strength, so I could get a little further away and really work on pulling when I'm doing my technique. Or I might want to work on speed, going in and out, in and out. So I could be working on speed, form, and strength. By the way, as I'm doing techniques, I may not always pull as much as I should be pulling because I have some bad shoulders, so I wanted you to be aware of that if my technique is not pulling quite enough. So on Ippon Seoinage, I'm holding both with one so that I can get in for a good position as opposed to one and the other. So now, I could be doing righty technique. I could be doing switching hands and doing lefty technique. So I could do 10-20 righty, 10-20 lefty. I could do right, come out, switch hands, left. Come out, switch right, come out, switch left. So now I'm alternating. Not only am I getting the technique, working both sides, I'm working on alternating grip. I might want to do this forward step into my technique. In other words, my partner is standing here and they want to take a step to the side. As they step to the side, I turn in for my throw. So instead of coming into them, I'm going one turn straight across and back, across and back. Or I might do lefty, the same thing. Or I also could alternate. Here, out switch, here, out switch, here. So I'm just doing a step across, step back, step across, switching hands. My partner, instead of walking this way, may decide to walk that way. So now I might want to do a back step. Back step. Do a bunch of those. Switch hands, back step. Or again, I could alternate. Back step, turn, switching hands, back step, turn, back step, turn. Now you also might want to add a different stepping pattern. When the person's going to the side and you're doing your forward step, you might want to do 1, 2, 3 step. And you could do that several times. Come back, ich, ni, san, chi. And then come back, ich, ni, san, chi. Or you could do that alternating, ich, ni, san, chi. Now turn, switch hands, ich, ni, san, chi. Turn, switch hands, ich, ni, san, chi. Ich, ni, san, chi. Ich, ni, san, chi. Ich, ni, san, chi. As I switch, ich, ni, san, chi. You could do the same thing with the back pedaling when they're going the other way. Instead of just doing this, it might be ich, ni, san, chi. Ich, ni, san, chi. And going back and forth. So that's Seoinage with several types of entries, different stepping patterns. You might do this with marote seoinage. Well, for that, I'll grab 2 hands, 1 on each. And as I come around, get into my marote seoi position. Now, if you like to get low, you can get low for your marote seoi. If you like to push up on them, whatever style works for you, you can be practicing. Along with the same stepping patterns. You might do sore kami gauche. So you're doing your pull and your lift, sore kami gauche. Righty, lefty, sore kami gauche type move. I'm going to switch over just for going back and forth with these. So now I might do tayatoshi. Stepping across, however you do your tayatoshi. Pull, you might get your elbow underneath this elastic, so now you've got double resistance there. You might be doing a stepping in. You might just do a pivot. You might come into. You might do a cross pivot, maybe for tayatoshi, maybe for something else, I don't know, but a cross pivot. You might do osotogari. Now, osotogari, a little bit different. If I step in, I've lost my tension. So I might turn this way. So for osotogari, we might turn to get resistance and step into it, pulling, pushing, and doing our reap for osoto. Now, some people like to step way across to get the person off balance and pull with both hands. Some people maybe like to pull down and push. So whatever works for you for your osoto, you go into it and you can do a reap. That's almost an uchimata. You could do that, but starting this direction and stepping in, osotogari. You could also do ouchigari. Again, stepping this way, maybe even back and going a little bit diagonal instead of straight forward. Stepping, again, different people do ouchigari differently. You might pull down with both hands. As you come in to reap, you might pull in with one, and some people like to push under the chin by turning their hand and driving the person back. So you might pull across, do that, and do your ouchi. Some people like to maybe pull down and go over the back of the gi. Pull, push, ouchi. You also might do things like some ashiwaza, where you might do sasai surikami ashi or hizaguruma. Sasai. Pull with both hands, pull, and blocking. Again, you could do all one side, or you could alternate one, then the other. You might just do regular foot sweeps. You're not getting quite so much of the pull. You still get some pull, maybe step back a bit, so you can be pulling, reaping, and pulling down. You might step back and reap, step back and reap, step back and reap. So there's all sorts of different ways you might go for foot sweeps or other techniques. And you know, there may be many other techniques that you can try on your own. You might come up with other techniques that you like and you say, boy, that worked wonderful for that. And I'd love to hear about those. So remember, you're working for strength, you're working for speed, you're working for precision, You also might do exercises such as, it's a resistance band. Maybe you could do some curls. Maybe you could do some extension for the triceps. I've been wearing a judo gi, but you don't necessarily have to. You could wear a gi or not wear a gi, wear shoes, not wear shoes, depending on what fits for your situation. I hope this gave some interesting thoughts around utilizing Uchi Komi bands. Good luck, and thank you very much.